Welcome to the NC podcast. My name's Natasha Collins and I am the founder of NC Real Estate, which includes its members club for landlords and property investors to come and build a profitable property portfolio that completely aligns with their lifestyle and financial goals. If you haven't heard it yet, and I think I've said it enough over the last couple of weeks, I'm opening the members club for a limited time only next week. So get that in your diaries. As of the 4th of August, I'm opening for 4 days only. 4 days only. That's the only time you have for the rest of the year to come and join the members club. So please get on the waiting list. That's ncrealestatemembersclub.com. I'm going to put the link below because you're going to have to get on it now so that you get all of the awesome bonuses that come with joining during that period. So make sure you head over, sign up, and you'll be first in the queue as well. And the first people in get a little something special, but I'm not going to tell you quite what that is yet. I want you to find out when you come in and you're amazed by all of the awesome stuff I've got for you in the members club. So make sure you're doing that. Right. Today, back by popular demand, Isaac. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming back.
My pleasure.
Second time on the podcast.
Second time.
Wow.
Second of many.
Second of many. It's going to become a regular thing.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So how have you been since the last time you came on the podcast?
Good.
Yeah?
Wheeling and dealing, doing deals, negotiating, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who think back to when I did a podcast with Isaac called Why Buy to Let is Dead or Not, and we discussed how Isaac got into the property industry, how he was investing in New Jersey, and all of the deals that you've done over there, your flips, your development projects, how you started, how you've built it, how you've grown. Tell me what happened since.
So first off, I wanted to say to you, thank you so much for last time. It was a great experience, and not only that, but afterwards, the amount of people that came over to me and told me, such a cool podcast, and so happy to learn about your life and how you do things, and we want to hear more. And also, like I was telling you before, people just saying to me, what do you do? How do you get started? And then I'm like, instead of telling them, I just forward them the link and they can figure out themselves. So it just saves me time also.
You've got 40 minutes from previously that you can just go, hey, this is what I was doing.
Yeah, it's all there. I mean, I'm going to just repeat myself again. So just look at it and figure it out.
So what came as a result of it?
People kind of understood more what I was doing. They, you really, went through a lot of the, besides in the history and how I started, also like how I structure stuff and how I do things. And people just, they got better ideas, and they got what I was doing, where I came from. So people were just impressed, and it was good.
Yeah, because I think something that I want to make sure that my audience are aware of is that you have to tell people what you do, right? Don't you? Because that's the only way people are going to invest in you. Yeah,
and if it's a good story behind it, that's, people love that. People love a good story. I was telling someone else recently, it's not, we don't sell a product. I'm not selling a product, so I'm not trying to compete against other people and trying to say, look here, I have this product, I'm trying to sell it, and then I have a different way of selling it than the other person has. I do real estate. We take on investors here and there, but the main thing is that when I get in front of people, it's not, they don't feel they have to respond. They don't feel like it's another person pitching me something. It's just a story. I'm telling you a story. This is what happened to me. This is how I did it. This is how you can do it if you put your mind to it. If you that's what people like it. So
very true, because also it's that trust building.
Yeah, the trust building. So again, that podcast, people, they want to know more about me, and then they talk to me, and then they go and see, they go on the podcast and they see other people engaging in it, and they say, he's not just the guy that I met in the street and all of a sudden I should put money with him. He's someone that people, he has a following, he has people that are watching his stuff, and he's doing podcasts, he's getting out there, he's being totally transparent. That's what it is. Yeah,
because a lot of people say to me, well, how do I get started if I've got nothing or not a lot of money? And it's about having that experience, isn't it? And building experience. I mean, you can have both. You can have money and experience, and you build that over time. But sometimes it can just be that you have to become the expert, and you have to feel confident in what you're doing.
You have to sell. You have to have value. You have to value. So you know, you can have no money and you can have maybe, you know, a little amount of money, but with that money you can take it and you can, you know, learn something. And then when you go to speak to someone, all of a sudden you're the person that has the knowledge and they're the person listening and taking it in. And that has more value than any money, because once that person will invest with you or their friends or whatever, only because you went and studied something, you learned something, you went out there and you figured it out, and they haven't figured it out yet. So that's the advantage you have with them. So I tell this to a lot of people. Anyone that wants to get into real estate, they want to start. This is exactly how I did it, becoming a real estate agent and just focusing on learning markets and learning different areas, locations, prices, how much things cost to sell, to buy, and these sort of things. And then when you're talking to someone, they say, "What do you do?" All of a sudden, you have something to say to them. You know, you're not just sitting, "Oh yeah, I'm a mortgage broker." You know, like, okay, fine, next. You know, you're saying to them, "I'm in real estate. I'm a developer, and this is why, this is how I did it, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what I know, and this is what you don't know, and this is what you need to know." Mm-hmm. So, that's what I would tell people that are looking to get started always.
And to become an expert in something that you know, because
something that you know and you have a passion for, something that you would enjoy doing, because when you have a passion for it, it's gonna show, and and then you have something to get up for, even when it doesn't work for the first day, week, month, year. But when it eventually clicks, it clicks. But till then, you know, you need the passion to keep you going. You need the excitement. So. And
the mindset. You're right. You don't just wake up one morning, decide you're going to be a property investor or decide you're going to be a property expert, and then
because you read on the news that people make money doing real estate.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, does it? You have to, because you go out, you have to learn that knowledge, and then sometimes things go wrong. Unfortunately, it's a harsh reality of life, right? But
it's a roller coaster.
There's no plain sailing. Some days you have ups, some days you have downs, some days you don't get the funds you want for a property, some days, I don't know, any number of things can go wrong.
You're trying to sell something in the house, the contract falls through, and you sat 2 months under contract off the market, and now you have to put it back on the market and restage it and relist it. You know, things go up. There's ups and downs.
And you've just got to stay the course, because a lot of people would give up in that situation.
If there's no real excitement, there's no passion. You know, if it's only about the money, then it's not gonna, you know, then when you get to the situation, it's gonna be hard to pull through. So you need that excitement and that, you know, that.
It's so true about it only being about the money. I've had a lot of people come to me with business ideas, and they say to me, "Hey Natasha, can I join with your brand and we'll do X, Y, and Z, and we'll be raking in," I don't know, they come at me with some figures. I'm like, okay, but what's the substance behind it? How are we helping people? What are we adding value? Because
so that you can get excited about it, because until you get excited about it, you might even put some money into it, or you might put some time into it. If there's no excitement, then what's going to happen in week 3 or week 4 when it's kind of not moving and you're like, hey, you know, forget about this?
Yeah, I mean, I've spent the money, whatever.
Yeah.
But also because when you get excited, other people get excited about it.
True.
Because if I'm really excited over a property deal, then everybody else is going to be like, oh, well, I want a piece of that too. And if I can frame it in that light, and I believe it in the bottom of my heart that's a good thing to do, even if it ultimately might not go quite the way I want, like, that's very different to me just saying, hey Isaac, I'm buying this thing, and you'd be like,
it might work out, it might not work out, I don't know, we'll see.
Right.
You have to have confidence. You have to have a lot. You know, I don't know if I told you a story. I had this guy that invested in me, and he did 2 deals, and then he came to invest in me, and I said, you know, why are you doing this? You know, you figured it out. You did very well. He's like, Isaac, I got lucky. I don't want to risk it again. I got lucky those 2 times, and I wanted to shake him up and say, you didn't get lucky. You did a good job. You made the money. Go and do it again. Times it by 5, then times it by 10, and just build up a business and get out of your corporate job in the city. That's what you should do. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna give the money to you, and you'll figure it out, and then eventually you know, I'll build it up. But for now, I got, and it's like people don't have confidence, and it's also the excitement, it's also the, you know, the really believing and having a passion, but at the same time, it's also having that confidence and having that and being a risk taker, you know. So
yeah, taking risks is a big one, isn't it? If you're not going to put anything into it, why do you expect to get something out?
Right.
I find that people can sit on their hands for a long time and then look back on it and think, oh, I should have done something about that at the time. You know, everybody can think back pre-recession 2008 and say, oh, I should have got in on the bubble and sold at the right time. Well, hindsight's a very powerful thing, but
it's easy to speak.
Yeah.
It's easy to say these things, but it's all about living in the moment, figuring out what you have to do for now, and then that's it.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree with that. And so what would you say to people who haven't yet found that passion or are really struggling?
Different business. No, it's true.
Yeah.
I had someone actually today just pitching me to get into an Amazon business. So I said, listen, it's very simple. I have no passion for Amazon. I have no interest in it. If you can show me how it's going to make money, yeah, I'll put some money into it and see how it goes. If you can show me, she's like, well, what products do you want to sell?
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing. I don't want to sell anything.
Yeah. I don't do sales.
That's not what I do. If you can, you know, show me a plan, show me things that sell, show me numbers, you know, then okay, we'll go and buy 500 pieces and see how it goes. You know, buy 1,000 pieces. We'll try. But till then, I have no interest in it. You know,
Yeah.
there's an interest in making money, but I don't want to do any work. I don't do any legwork for it. That's not my business. So.
Yeah. Whereas you're happy to jump on a property
Yeah,
deal and do the work.
Right. Property deal, I'm happy to do it. And if I break even, if I lose, whatever it is, that's the risk I took, and that's the business I'm in, and I'm happy with it. You know. So.
It's true.
Yeah. You can't say, you know, I want to get into real estate, but I have no passion. What should I do? It's choose a different job.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't ask you too much about this last time, but I'm going to ask you now because people always ask me what my day looks like, and every day for me is very different. Some days I can be just sat in front of my computer. Other days I'll be out and about. It, for me, very much varies. What does the life of a full-time developer look like?
So my day, I tell this to a lot of people. The biggest thing I like, the most attractive thing in my job that I enjoy the most is the fact that I have no structure in a day. So I don't. It's Sunday and I have no clue what my week's gonna look like. I mean, I have a meeting on Wednesday and I have this on Tuesday and I have this thing on Friday, but between that, you know, there's anything that can happen, and I'm busy the entire time. But it's just there's a lot of flexibility. So and a lot of days I'll start a day at 9 o'clock, whatever it is, and I won't know what I'm doing that day, and then things will just happen. Figure out, you know, I'm not the property manager, so I don't have to be by the projects. I go to them sometimes because decisions have to be made, and I have to speak to different people, designers and architects and stuff. But I don't have to be by the project, so I'm not doing that. I go to the office, you know, because there's a lot of paperwork and stuff. So I'm in the office. Our office now moved from East Orange now to Jersey City. So
it looks so cool.
Yeah.
All the pictures that I've been seeing on Insta stories.
Yeah, it's downtown Jersey City. It's a world of a difference because literally we walk out of our office and within 2 to 3 minute walk from where we are, we can just walk past 5 of our projects, and these are the bigger ones. These are the ones that are selling for, you know, $3 to $5 million, like 4 or 5 unit each one. So it's like I don't need to go there, but the fact that you're so close and like, oh, let's just swing by this property and let's just check something out. There's a structural issue here. There's a question about the window. Okay, I'm gonna come. I'll be back in 2 minutes. You know, it's like it's a world of a difference. Until we went to East Orange, which is probably about 25 minutes out. It was like, okay, should we go? We're not gonna go down to see that property now. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it when we do this. And like, you kind of the amount of control, I guess, is the word that you feel like you have when you're close to your projects. And then the rest of Jersey City, it's 5-minute drive, 8-minute drive. It's like really everything's so close by. You're like, we now have an office exactly where we work, which is a game changer. So
yeah.
And then we have the real estate agency also. So I'm busy with that. I'm trying to build that up. We have a broker, Christina. She's our broker, and we have about 6-7 agents. We just did a little event with them, which you saw. You know, had some food, did headshots and stuff, you know, just to get started. And it's another progression of our business. Trying to, you know, we have now a construction company now. Also, we opened up. We have a license and everything. So we're just trying to slowly build out the development company to have these you know, these other parts, other areas which we can take care of in house, you know, and save us money that way, and you know, and maybe build a business out of it also. So
can I ask, how long has it taken you from the day you started to get to here now?
Real estate. Almost 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. So just because what you guys do is amazing. But again, what I want people to realize is that there's so much work that goes into getting here. Yeah. It's not like you wake up one morning and you're like, oh my gosh, got a development company
Yeah.
and I've got this agency. It takes time, and you guys work so hard. You're always on the road.
Yeah.
You're driving around all the time.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot. Like every time I speak to Isaac, he's in his car.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's different steps to get there, but it's also, we had that kind of shift where, you know, you can do real estate, and I started doing it 5 years ago and flipping houses year 1, year 2, already making money already the second year, which is, thank God, which is very good. And then there's a shift where you say, instead of just doing this and just buying, selling, and maybe like building up, but slowly, instead we're going to invest in a business. We're going to build a real business out of this. We're going to put all the money back into the business, build up a development company, buy these much bigger properties that require a lot more holding costs, a lot more, liquid to just to support it. And that's the decision we made a couple of years ago, and that's why that was the decision that a lot of companies have to make. Do you continue being freelance, entrepreneur style, just hustling and buying and selling and making money, or do you focus on the bigger picture? Do you take that move and establish a company and try and really, knock it out? So.
Yeah. And do you see that as just that's you long term now? Like, you'll do that for the next 10, 15, 20 years, however long you want it for. Yeah. And how have you built the relationships with people? How do you find the people who you're bringing on? Is it just through networking?
So the people that within our development company, we have a secretary and we have 2 project managers, and then me and my partner. So we have 5 of us. That was kind of just people we knew, friends, so we just hired now a construction manager, another one. So he has 5 years in Brooklyn in construction experience, and then he came to us. So that's how he came. And then the agents, a lot of them is just people that I worked with.
Yep.
Friends, and the people that I've worked with at other agencies when I was in my old places, they're like, wherever you're going, we want to come also. We see what you're doing. We see how much inventory you have. They have it. For them, it's sorry. For them, it's a lot of times we have listings, in-house listings that we have. So our broker she gets most of the listings, and then we have they know they have opportunities. As the company grows, we're going to be giving out the listings, giving out properties for them to sell. So which other brokerage is doing that? Yeah. So, but again, and also because they've worked with me and they like how I work, and they join me. So even though we're a new company and we're not offering training, we're not offering any of the stuff that other companies are offering. Yeah. So yeah.
And that's definitely something that we were actually talking about this on the phone yesterday, about the difference between the UK and the US, and how you're saying to me that, in the US you're able to do this as quickly, but for a little bit more quickly. But for everybody that's listening, if this is something you want to do, in the UK, this is very much a doable thing. If you're starting to buy and invest in a limited company, there are ways in which you can then develop that out. So you have the management side of it, you have the agency side of it, if that's something you want to do, if you want the lettings in-house as well, if you want your construction industry, your construction side of it in-house as well, you can do all of that under a bigger company structure, and then have each in a smaller company structure as well. So this is completely available to you. As much as investing in the UK can be harder because we've got so many more taxes and so many more holes and hoops to jump through, actually what you're doing for people who are listening is very accessible to them, because you've just got to think about, what do you need in-house that is going to help you, right? And then build on it. Do it.
Yeah. The only thing is that it's a capital investment usually. Yeah. So you're making X amount of money every year doing what you're doing, and now you have to make that decision. Do I shift over and start to build a business and start to make these different avenues within my business? It's an investment, so I might not see the return year 1, year 2, year 3. Yeah. Maybe year 3 or 4, I'm going to suddenly see. Now I have an agency with 30 agents, and we're closing 50 million a year. And then all of a sudden it's worth it. So it's an investment. It's a risk and it's an investment. But the way I looked at it was, and it was easy for me, was because I have enough properties myself that I'm selling. Yeah. That the referral that I'm taking on that is enough to support the company. Yeah. So once I know that, then it makes the decision easy. I'm getting the money anyway. So I just take that money and just use, and that money is the investment for the agency. Yeah. And the construction doesn't cost much, and again, it saves us money because instead of paying contractors and paying the extra fees, and we're paying that to our own company, and then we get the money back. So it's just, it makes a lot of sense all around. But a lot of times the decision you have to make is, do I open a window company? I'm a developer. Do I open a window company? And do I invest a few $100,000s in that or not? you know, and that's an investment and a risk, and you don't necessarily have $300,000 in windows a year to support that. So it's like you have to, I mean, $300,000 in profit on the windows that you would make, you know, versus doing it somewhere else. So it's just a leap of faith you got to take, you know, and when it makes it easier when it's covered. So,
yeah, it's true. Yeah. That's true. That's the decision that I had to make when I decided to do the members club and go into kind of the education and support side of things rather than, whilst I do have a development company, because the pair of us who run that development company, we have such different ways in doing things. It didn't always go, it works, but sometimes we're away doing other projects and then we get back together. So that for me, it was like, I like teaching, I like working with people, so I'm going in that direction. And that's but that was supported wholly on my property portfolio, and it was like, well, I've got the profit, right. Okay, so I'm going into that. So I was the same as you have to think about that, where what can I invest, how is this going to make a difference long term, how am I adding value, but it's a good extension, right?
It's a great extension, and it makes it easy that's how I started. I started as a real estate agent, even though I never did anything really but I started being a licensed agent and looking on the MLS and looking for deals and stuff. And then, you know, and I worked with agents. I've sold all these properties through agents, and I understand the business very well. So I was like, this is, you know, we have the properties that's going to support it. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just an extension.
Yeah, when I'm speaking to like potential investors, especially the big ones for like the bigger developments, and they ask me how you're going to market your property. So I'll always tell them that, you know, we have an in-house marketing, but a lot of times we'll join up because we're new. We'll join up with the local biggest guy, and that's how we'll sell. And that's what we're doing with the 38-unit condominium development that we do. Yeah. So we're joining up with another big agency. They're going to help us with the advertising. We're going to split the commission between us, you know, so we still get something back. We don't get the whole thing, but we get something back. And we have now this you know, we have their marketing, and we're also using our names. So it's kind of like, you know, the two together. Mm-hmm. But I always people ask me, why do you open a real estate agency? You know, what for? I say, I can support it. They're like, yeah, but what do you need the headache for? It's a headache. So I always say, and I kind of believe it, but I always say that it's because I like to be in control. You know, it's a lot of times you give out your properties and they sell, and they come back to you, yeah, it's not really selling, or you need to lower the price, or it's sold in one day. So I'm like, well, if it's sold in one day, maybe it's too cheap. You know, like all these. Yeah. And you're not in control of what's going on really, because you gave it to them, they figured it out, and then they come back to you and saying what they want you to respond. You know, they want to sell it, they don't care. So if you have it in house, it kind of becomes close to home. You know, so then now they realize when they're selling something, you're not selling something for some client, you're selling something for your company. Yeah. They associate the company, the development company, with the agency company, and now it becomes a listing, an in-house listing. So now when I tell developers, I'm like, yeah, we have it because we really want to be in control of our marketing and in control of, and then that impresses them. That makes, they're like, okay, fine. So you have that, you're in control of that part also. That's good. You know, they want to, that gives them more confidence. So. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But it's work. It's work. Yeah.
As with everything, right? Yeah. You don't just roll out of bed and these things happen. Yeah. There's always more and more to jump steps, through. Yeah. And the bigger or the more successful that you look, the more hoops the more you have to deal with, right? And it's not a bad thing, it's just,
yeah, well, then it's about delegating, you know. Yeah. Are you delegating to the right people that are going to take care of it and not going to, you know, or you're not delegating because you're too much of a control freak and everything has to be under your. So it's a lot about that, you know. How much are you giving away? Because at a certain point the business grows enough, big enough that you can delegate, you can give away. But people, again, if they're too passionate about it, or if they're too much of too controlling, it's hard for them to do that. So that's another thing that you really have to learn on the journey, any journey. Just to know when to get out, to know when to say, okay, that can be taken care of by this person, that can be done by this, but I just have to do this. Yeah. So. Yeah, and again, and that goes higher level. You become the visionary at the top of a company. Right. You can see the future, but what you've already done, you've got a team who sort that out for you, and they're great at it. Yeah, I agree. So should we talk about this project that we're doing together? Yes. So excited.
I'm really excited. This has been a long time in the making. Yeah. Right. We were talking about doing a project for ages, and then finally it kind of came together that was what we were going to do. So I will let you talk about it, because I'm using this as a learning experience for me in the American market, because I've never invested over here before. So this is all very, very new, and I'm very excited about it. But you talk through the deal, because you found the deal.
Okay, so basically two family house we're buying. It's in Jersey City. It's in the Heights part of Jersey City, very kind of gentrifying area. Probably about 10 minutes to Manhattan. Buses direct right in the corner. Like the location is really good. Manhattan views from the top floor. It's a really solid property. Actually built in like the 80s or 90s. So it's not like an old property or anything. So we bought it for 600,000. Well, we haven't bought it yet. We're buying it for 600,000, and we plan to put in about 250 to 300 in construction to turn it into 2 condos. So it'll be a duplex at the bottom and a unit on top, and then there's parking in the front and the back, which is a huge plus, especially in that area. There's families move there and stuff. So, and then we plan to sell out. We have the appraisal to sell out at 750 plus 550, so 1.35, 1.4 around that. So we're in it for under $1 million. To sell for 1.3, 1.4 is what we call a very good deal.
Yeah.
And this is it's a short sale. So for those who don't know what a short sale is, it's basically when a person, someone that owns the house, can't afford their mortgage, stops paying their mortgage after a few years, the bank wants to foreclose on the property and take it over. So sometimes the person can list it, and then we can put an offer in, and then the real estate agent will present the offer to the bank and say, hey, instead of foreclosing on the property, can you just accept this offer and take this? So take the 600,000. I know that they owe 850 or whatever they owe, $1 million. I don't know how much they owe. Would you take $600,000? We have a sale contract, and instead of doing a foreclosure where the seller now has bad credit, can never buy a house for the next who knows how many years, can't credit cards, at least can't cars or anything. They can't do anything because now they just had a foreclosure.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they can just do a regular sale where now they just sold their house and the bank has accepted a price less than what they owe. That's what a short sale is. So the thing with short sales is they can take time. I've done short sales that's taken over a year to close.
Wow.
So they can take time. So this one seemed pretty simple. I mean, we actually put the offer. Kim was telling me that we put an offer in January. So what are we, July now? It's like 7 months.
7 months.
So it's been a while. So we put the offer in January. We got it accepted. The bank accepted it, and then there was just all the corporate procedure that goes through. There's some guy in the bank that has to approve it. They just have their thing, and you can't control that. You can follow up, but you can't really control any of that. And we got approval. Then it came in. Then we had to push it off for one reason, then for another reason, and then as of now, we're supposed to close next week. So please God, we close next week. But it was supposed to be Friday till yesterday. Yesterday, they're like, no, it's not going to be Friday because we're waiting for this thing from the short sale. There's just a lot of paperwork.
Moving parts.
It's actually after doing a short sale about 3-4 years ago that I decided to go to the auction.
Yeah.
That's how I did a short sale. It took me a year. And it was a decent deal. And then I was like, I go to the auction on Thursday at 1 and I walk out at 5 o'clock with 2 properties. Why do I have to do short sales for 9 months of headaches and banks and lenders and this approval and that approval? Like, who needs it?
Yeah.
But again, if an agent comes up to me with a property that's a short sale and the numbers make sense, I'll put an offer in. I'm not doing any work. I just don't know when to close. But apart from that, I'm not gonna have to do any of the following up or anything is taken care by the 2 agents and the banks. So, but yeah, so that's the deal.
It's exciting.
It is really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have the architect on standby to come by the minute we close, to come down and to get the drawings drawn up and stuff. So it's.
So you were telling me about zoning. So the difference between the UK and the US is that in the UK, obviously we go through the planning permission, and it's painful to say the least. In the US, you have zoning, right? So this falls in an area of zoning where you can turn the property into these 2 condos.
So this is what it is. It's called an R1 zone. R1 zone is 1 and 2 families.
Yeah.
So we are 2 family. So we're conforming property in an R1 zone because we are 2 family in an R1 zone. Yeah. And we're not changing that. We're not changing that. We're staying as 2 units. If we were to add a 3rd unit, then we'd have to go in front of the planning board and get the permission and do a variance, apply for a variance, say, hey, we want to put 3 units here. But as long as we stay within 2 units, we're going to utilize the basement and make a duplex, but it's still going to be one resident, and then the top one is going to be another residence. So that's fine. But like the other properties that we have that we're going through planning board, which we learned the hard way, is we bought 3 family, 4 families, 5 families all over Jersey City, and the problem was they were in R1 zones, but they were non-conforming. So they were legal 3 families, legal 4 families, but they were in a non-conforming zone. So the rule is that if you're non-conforming in an R1 zone, any extension you want to do, you have to go in front of the planning board. You can stay as a 3-family, renovate it, sell it as 3 condos, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The minute you want to do a smallest extension, you have to go in front of the planning board. And we bought all these properties with plans to do extension. They all had huge lot coverage in the first floor. We're like, we're going to go straight up 4 floors, easy. And then after we closed them, then we got hit with a harsh reality that it's not that simple. The minute you touch it, any extension, because it's a non-conforming property, you have to go in front of the planning board. So last week we got approved finally, number 1 of 3. There's 3 of them we have to get approved. So 1 of 3 got approved last week. It was amazing.
After how long?
Probably a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And had you already started development on that? Have you done anything to it?
We just demoed the inside. But don't forget, this is a $1.4 million property. So if we're paying 10% taxes, you're talking about $13,000-$14,000 a month and just holding it. Forget about the real estate taxes, which is another, so that's the deal still makes sense. We're still very happy with it. Thank God it got approved and we're moving forward and everything's good. But it took a long time. It's a learning. And since then we haven't bought anything unless it's existing. We've just bought last year we bought a 4-family. Maybe 5-6 months ago we bought a 4-family. We're halfway through the construction already. It was simple. We kept the structure, no extension, and just renovated the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then we'll do condos. We'll sell each one separately. But as long as there's no extension, that's it.
And so how are you finding these deals? So Kim found the one that we're doing.
Right.
And so what are you saying to your agents? Because a lot of people always say to me, well, how do you find these deals? And you build really good relationships with your agents. So what are you asking for? What do you tell them?
Well, that's another thing about having an agency is that you have people that are a lot of them will understand and know that if they find me a deal, they'll get to sell it when it gets finished.
Right.
So they find me a deal. They're not only getting commission today, they also have a commission coming to them when we finish the construction. Now we put it back in the market for $1.3 million. They're going to get $20,000-$30,000 on that. So now they're incentivized. If a good deal comes and they have 2 investors to go to, they're going to come to me.
Yep.
Or other agents also, not only within my agency, they won't necessarily get the listing, but they know that I can close quick. They know that they've done deals with me before. They know how that, it's a simple process. It doesn't get complicated, and that's it. So that's how most of the deals are people that I've met by networking events. We do a lot of networking events, and it's just a face-to-face meeting, and people, and they get confidence that we talk about trust, and they believe that things will be, and they are good, thank God. So that's how I find my deals. It's one thing I never have an issue. I have other issues in the business, but one thing I never had an issue was with finding deals. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
It's just about who gets them. Let's say for example, multifamily, 100, 150 units all over the country. If I started to buy them up, I wouldn't, I'd be fighting for deals.
Yeah.
Because I'm not known in the industry. It's not what I do. I don't network with people that have those access to those deals. I don't know commercial brokers as well. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But in this what I do, I just over the last 5 years built so many connections and so many relationships. People they're always going to know. They're going to ask someone who's going to know me. It's always going to come to me, even if it's not direct. It's going to come to me because, and I'll get offered the same deal 3 times in one day.
Yeah.
A lot of times because they hear about the deal and they'll come straight to me.
Yeah.
So building that reputation that if the numbers make sense, he'll close it, and it's simple and it's easy, is the number one thing. For a new person, it is hard. It's not easy.
No.
But you got to just build it up. You got to keep meeting people, and you got to show. You got to execute. It's all about execution.
Yep.
If they see you can execute, then they'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but having an agency definitely helps with that. Helps with finding the deals because they're the ones. I'm not looking at the MLS. I'm not looking at what comes up in the market. And a lot of the stuff we're buying are stuff that come to the market, not necessarily off market. New York Avenue was on the market. It was listed.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went there. What was the story? We went there, looked at it. I said 580. It was listed for 600. I said 580, and they said They said for 600 you can have it. And it was the 2 days on the market or something. We put an offer right when it hit the market.
Mm-hmm.
So we went. It was quick, and it was a good deal. The numbers made sense. It appraised, and everything came out well. So we knew it was a good deal. So.
So what are your key tips of advice then for anybody who's just starting out or anybody who's been in it for a while? What would you say the best use of someone's time is going forward?
Well, if you're just starting out, the advice I would say, the main thing is first find out that you have a passion for it, like we discussed. Like find out that's what you want to be doing. That's what you enjoy doing. You know, a lot of people enjoy designing houses. They enjoy taking something that looks bad. The whole world likes this. You know, all the real estate shows, showing a bad house, showing it fixed up. Everyone likes it. But the question is, are you willing to get your hands dirty for it? You know, are you willing to like really jump in, or you just like watching the show? That's really what it boils down to. So it's first finding out that you have that passion, you have that interest, and then finding out a way how to add value. That's it. Yeah. Like which part of real estate do you like? Do you like the mortgage business? Do you like the realtor business? Do you like the design business, the architectural business? Which part do you like? And then, you know, taking on a part of that and focusing on that, and then talking to people and saying, this is the value that I have. This is what you need to know, and this is what how I can help you. Yeah. I'm not trying to sell you a product. I'm not trying to sell you something that everyone else has. I'm selling you a way of life. I'm selling you a partnership. You're going to partner with me, and we're going to do this together, and you're going to enjoy it. And then, you know what? In 2 deals' time, you're going to tell me goodbye, and you're going to do it yourself, and you're going to figure it out yourself. But for now, we're going to partner together, and we're going to really, you know, and that's how you got to go out there. You know, go out there and just sell a lifestyle. Don't sell like you're not selling a product. Sell this is it's not even work. This is what you're going to enjoy. This is what you're going to do, and you're gonna it's really gratifying. Yeah. So find your passion in real estate. If it's for you, fabulous. That's where you start, and you're starting from a good place. If not, then stay an accountant's fine. That's your other option. Yeah, accountant. You could be. There's good jobs out there. If you need the security, if you like the consistency, if you like the structure, you know, then that's what you should be doing. Yeah. And they have this, and they enjoy themselves. I don't say that. I don't think they don't enjoy themselves. They're happy. Yeah. But some people need happiness by having flexibility, and some people need happiness by having structure. So yeah, just whoever you are. It's your own. Do what you have passion for. So that brings us to the end of this podcast. Thank you for coming back. My pleasure. Second time, a dream. If you want to find out more about NC Real Estate or me, head on over to www.ncrealestate.co.uk. I'm going to put the links below of how you can find Isaac and see more of what he's doing, because you post so much greatness on Instagram and LinkedIn. So I'll share that. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have really enjoyed your company, and I cannot wait to catch up with you again soon.